Hello, good evening. In this session, we shall understand what is system development lifecycle or software development lifecycle. In abbreviated form, we popularly know it as SDLC, System Development Lifecycle. Why is it called lifecycle? See here, it's a software. When this software is going to die means it is going to be unusable due to various reasons, due to changes in requirements, or for any reason. If the software is going to die, in that case, as the property of software is reusability, we make necessary changes in the software, and by making such changes, the software again becomes alive, and it continues till further requirements change. Again, as soon as the software becomes decaying, becomes outdated, expired, or die, in that case we again make changes in the software, and the software again becomes functional, again becomes alive. So this continues till we are making the changes in the software to meet the new requirements. So that's why it is life cycle. So SDLC is the acronym of System Development Lifecycle or Software Development Lifecycle. So SDLC is a process of developing a software. It consists of methodologies with the help of following which we develop software applications, software programs. The SDLC consists of so many phases, so many steps: planning, designing, risk analysis, coding, programming, then testing, followed by implementation, evaluation, and maintenance. So SDLC is a framework that defines the steps involved in the development of software at each phase. It covers the detailed plan for building, deploying, and maintaining the software. SDLC defines the complete cycle of development, that is, all the tasks involved in planning, creating, testing, and deploying a software product. These are the phases of SDLC. In total, we have 8 phases: preliminary investigation, analysis, design, coding or programming or development, testing, implementation, evaluation, and maintenance. What is preliminary investigation? In preliminary investigation, we investigate whether the software project that we are undergoing to accept it, is feasible or not, whether we should undertake the project for developing the software or not. If it is feasible, then we would accept the project, otherwise we would reject the project. In case the project is rejected, then these 7 phases do not follow. So the project continues after getting approval in preliminary investigation. In preliminary investigation, the project approval or rejection is done. In case the project is approved, only then we enter into the analysis, design, coding, testing, and other phases. Otherwise, if it is rejected, then project closes here after preliminary investigation. Preliminary investigation consists of 5 sub-phases: problem study, requirements determination, in which we determine the requirements of the user. Then feasibility study, we verify various feasibilities such as economical feasibility, technical feasibility, operational feasibility, time feasibility, legal feasibility, and there are so many feasibility studies. And after performing feasibility study, we prepare a detailed report of this study, depending on which the project is approved or rejected. In case the project is rejected, the project stops. It continues only after the approval of the project. So these are various feasibility study. We would study in detail in another session. So this continues in a linear sequence, one after another. Linear sequence means it continues in a linear fashion. Sequentially means one after another. It means after the completion of analysis, we enter into the design, and after the completion of design, we enter into coding, then testing, implementation, evaluation, and finally maintenance. This linear sequence model is also known as classical model. This model gives us a quality software. We can become assured for a quality software because in this model, the software is developed with full concentration, with full complete care, complete concentration. So we can expect for a quality software. This is also known as waterfall model. So if this linear sequence is arranged in this manner, analysis, design, coding, testing, implementation, evaluation, and maintenance, as this looks like a waterfall, therefore it is also known as waterfall model. So what happens in analysis? In analysis, we gather requirements from the user, from the system, and then we analyze what is to be given, what options, what functionalities are to be given to the user. So this analysis phase is divided into two sub-phases. One is requirements gathering, or we also call it as fact-finding technique, that consists of bidding, which we also call fast facilitated application specification technique, interview, direct or online observation or inspection, questionnaire, and with the help of these techniques, we gather information. The information that we have gathered, the characteristics of those information is like that. It is just a collection of information. Just a collection of information. It means the information are non-systematic, non-sequential. These are in the form of piecemeals. Some of the information might be incomplete, whereas some of the information might be incorrect. Some information might be intentionally or unintentionally might have been hidden. So in such circumstances, some information might be superfluous, that is, those information might not be required. But as the user does not know what is to be given and what is not to be given, they give a lot of information. Among them, only few are important, others are superfluous. So in such a situation, where information are superfluous, incomplete, incorrect, non-systematic, piecemeal, in that case we cannot develop a perfect software, a correct software. So here requirements analysis is required. Requirements analysis means we analyze with the available information that we have gathered through fact-finding technique, has to be analyzed. What are the problems? What are the requirements? What are the functionalities that the software has to provide? So this is complete analysis. So business requirements are gathered in this phase. This phase is the main focus of the project managers and stakeholders. Meetings with managers, stakeholders, and users are held in order to determine the requirements, like who is going to use the system, how will they use the system, what data should be input into the system, what data should be output by the system, what are the outputs, what are the various constraints in which the software has to run. So these are some general questions that have to be answered, and these are answered during the requirements gathering phase. After this requirements gathering, we analyze, and the outcome of analysis phase is the SRS, System Requirements Specification, which is a written document that contains the details of deliverables to be given with the software to the user. So SRS gives the direction, decides the fate of the software. It means if the SRS is incorrect, in that case the design would be incorrect, and if the design becomes incorrect, then we cannot expect for a correct software, we cannot expect for a good quality software. So the SRS must be correct, it must be duly verified and validated by the user, by the customer. Now this SRS enters into design phase. Design is a platform where we can experiment for the development or construction of a real product, because we cannot construct a product experimenting with the original one. Means that we cannot experiment with the actual products. बिल्डिंग बना के हम एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं कर सकते कि विच वन इज़ करेक्ट. कार बना के हम एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं कर सकते कि कौन सी कार अच्छी होगी. सो डिज़ाइन प्रोवाइड्स अस अ फ्रेमवर्क, अ प्लेटफॉर्म, an architecture where we can experiment with and make necessary modifications. This is very economical. This reduces time to build a product. So this design minimizes the risk of failures. Design minimizes the risk of failures in the product that we are going to develop. So design is constructed in basically two phases. One is conceptual design, another one is detailed design. In conceptual design, we prepare a layout, removing the constructional details. This is just to develop a concept. What should be the product, and whether the product would satisfy the needs of the users or not. It does not contain the details. That's why the name is conceptual design. Once the conceptual design is finalized, we enter into the detailed design. Detailed design means it contains all the constructional details. It consists of all the constraints that would come before development of the software and the operations of the software. So in course of design, we prepare input design, that is a form design. We design processes, we design programs, output design, interface design, security design, database design, and all that. After the design is reviewed rigorously by so many software engineers to make it a final design, final approved design. After the design, a design document is prepared. Now with this design document, we enter into the next phase, that is the coding, development or programming phase. In this phase, we write code, we write programs, and after the programs are ready, before delivery to the customer, we test it. So testing is a process of detecting, discovering or finding errors in the software program. The testing might be done at different levels. Testing might be of different types. We perform component testing or program testing or module testing. This is called unit testing. Then integration testing, software or validation testing, system testing, acceptance testing, black box testing, white box testing, and there are so many testings that we all perform that are needed to ensure that the quality of the software is perfect, means we are not delivering any error with the software. After the testing is done, if errors are reported in the programs during the testing, we correct it, and again we test it, and after the testing, when we become ensured that the product is error free, it is implemented at the user site. And in course of implementation, various other activities are required, such as construction of building or site preparation, vendor selection from which hardware and other peripherals would be purchased, then hardware procurement, user training, file conversion. File conversion means transferring data from manual files to computerized files. This conversion may be of in different way: direct conversion, phase conversion, pilot conversion, mixed conversion, and so on. Then after the installation of the software product, after some time, maybe 7 days, maybe 10 days, 15 days, 1 week, 1 month, or more even, a team of system analyst or software engineer visits the sites and attempts to find the problems with the software, with the operation, and if anything is reported, the programmer we enter into the maintenance phase. Maintenance means repairing. Any kind of change in the software after the delivery is called maintenance. Actually, changes are done at 2 stages: before the delivery and after the delivery. Before the delivery, if any change is made, it is not called maintenance. It is called software configuration management. And if any kind of change is done after the delivery of the software, it is called maintenance. This maintenance may be of various types. Corrective: if any error is left by the programmers, by the developers, the correction of those errors is called corrective. Adaptive maintenance means the software, when enters into a new environment, new technology, to make the software run in that new environment, we make necessary changes in the software. Those changes are known as adaptive maintenance. Perfective maintenance means there are no major errors in the software. Slight modifications are required to make the software perfect to the needs of the user. That kind of maintenance is known as perfective maintenance. And the last one is the enhancement. Enhancement means if new features are added to the software. Say there is a software of college in which admission module is there, examination module is there, accounting module is there. Now the college desires to include library module. This is a kind of maintenance, and this is called enhancement. Okay, so these were the different phases. I again revise the phases. First phase is analysis, in which we gather requirements from the user and then decides what is to be given to the user, then design, then coding, testing, implementation, evaluation, and finally maintenance. So that's all for the SDLC. We would learn something new in the next session. Thank you.